I'm all about enhancements or tweakment.
Thank you so much for having me, Jo. Love it when they underestimate me.
100%.
I mean, I don't want to like blow my own trumpet. I don't think I'm like a supermodel.
Done. And you were the first ever aesthetic doctor to not tell me I don't want to do anything to your lip.
Aesthetics is an amazing thing to do. I was like, I like her vibe, but I really would love to do something with her. I was like, who does she think she is? Like, what is this? Like,
most people are shy or don't want to admit that they get anything done.
And I left 2,500 patients in England to start from scratch. You're acting like you asked me. I begged.
She was like, what? I need to go see her. He's like, you look cute, but like more than usual.
I think if you don't love to eat, you're weird.
Yeah.
Seriously, you are going to be, you know, better, bigger and better than her.
Assalamu alaikum and welcome to Press Pause with Jouhayna. On today's episode, I have Dr. Hasia. She's an award-winning top aesthetic doctor in the United Arab Emirates. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me, Jo.
Of course. We were definitely aligned because I came out to greet you and we're both in purple.
I know, like purple vibes today.
Exactly. I love it.
I love it.
So thank you so much for coming on the show. Before we begin, I want to start with a rapid fire round. Are you ready?
Yes.
So just tell me the first word to pop into your head when I mention a certain word.
This is dangerous.
And it's done when the 1 minute sound timer is over.
Okay.
Ready? And color.
Oh my god, I don't know.
Purple. Social media.
Instagram.
Hobby.
Kickboxing.
Oh, I didn't expect that.
No, it's not. It's just the first word
the first
that popped
thing-
into my mind. Am I meant to say what I do?
Oh, whatever. What is the first word that pops into your head?
My hobby is Netflix.
Oh, same. Emotion.
Happy.
Day of the week.
Saturday.
Song.
Genie in a bottle.
Ooh,
Christina Aguilera.
interesting. Season.
And I love autumn.
Hidden talent.
I'm a good makeup artist.
Oh, well, I can tell that. It's not really hidden.
Oh yeah, true.
Guilty pleasure.
Fries. Give me all the fries. I love fries with everything.
Yes.
Side of fries all the time.
And last one, dream job as a kid.
A singer.
Oh, interesting. Do you have a nice singing voice?
I don't know,
Okay.
but I used to sing all the time. So one of my favorite things to do, my hobby as a child, was I used to put The Box on. I don't know if you know The Box and MTV. I'm a 90s kid. So 96, 95, 96, 97, we had Sky TV. And I would put on The Box and MTV and VH1. And I used to print out lyrics to songs. And I used to sing, like, just sit there and sing all the songs.
I love that.
Imagine like folders full of lyrics, and I'm like sitting there singing I'm a genie in a bottle and this and hit me baby one more time, or whatever it was. But yeah, I loved it. Obsessed.
Oh, I love that. I was more of an artistic kid with drawing, which is my art here.
Is this your art?
Yeah, I drew it during COVID.
Beautiful.
Thank you.
I love this.
So yeah, that one, that's on your hoodie. It's about how beautiful women are misunderstood.
This is a
The story.
big problem in the world.
It is.
Story of my life.
Yeah,
Yes.
exactly. We're just discussing this. It's the story of our lives, of how we're
Our lives,
underestimated because of what we look like.
I mean, I don't want to like blow my own trumpet. I don't think I'm like a supermodel, but when you look a certain way, people think you cannot be intelligent.
Exactly.
You know.
Yeah, I just like to take people by surprise.
So do I. I'm like, okay, underestimate me. That's the best thing.
Exactly.
I love it when they underestimate me.
100%. I realized that's a secret superpower when I was 20-ish with my career. Yeah.
It really is.
So tell us about your background and your education, because again, to blow your trumpet and remind everyone how intelligent you are.
Oh my God. Okay. So I've been a medical doctor for 10 years now. And I decided to specialize in aesthetic medicine around 5 years ago. And I started off with doing the training in the UK. I'm born and raised in the UK. And then so I did my training there, education there. And I decided a year ago, or just over a year ago, I decided, okay, I want to move to Dubai. And at that point, you know, you have to fit the requirements, because the DHA, which is the Dubai Health Authority, are super regulated. They're very strict. So I had to get my American board certification of aesthetic medicine. I had to do all these different things. And then I, decided, okay, I want to practice aesthetics, but in Dubai, in the United Arab Emirates, because this is the place to be for aesthetics.
Yeah, I completely agree. There are so many clinics that you see all over the country. It's not even just in Dubai, but specifically in Jumeirah, it's like packed with them. And there's so much choice, and it's really overwhelming to know where to go.
It's overwhelming, it's confusing. And the thing is that I kind of saw a white space. I don't think there's many doctors in the UAE like me, offering exactly what I offer and doing things the way I do it. And, I used to holiday here 3 times a year before I moved.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is like my second home anyway. So I love it. So the thing is, when I used to come, I noticed that actually they look a certain way in Dubai. They have a certain, the lips are like lipping, the cheeks are cheeking, and the jaw's jawing. So I felt like, okay, I wish I could come here and make a difference and do things a slightly different way, because surely not everyone wants this same copy and paste blow up doll face.
Yeah, exactly.
So I thought actually this is probably the place, that I could come and make a real difference.
Yeah, I agree. My husband and I were talking about it, and he calls it the Dubai starter kit.
Yes.
That's the look that he's like, I also feel like the beauty of Khariji women is lost because of that.
I completely agree with you.
Yeah.
Completely.
And it's such a shame, because we are so beautiful the way that we are made, with the nose that we have, with the features we have. And I just feel like there's that pressure to look a certain way. And I think it's a shame. And I'm all about enhancements or tweakments, but there are some doctors who just let it go too far.
Yeah, there are. I think, Khaliji women in particular, they have amazing, beautiful features. They have the beautiful face shape, the, kind of the oval face with the high cheekbones. They have very good lips. They don't have thin lips. They're not like British women. Typically English women, they have smaller lips. So, you have full lips, you have beautiful cheeks and everything. So what I found is that, a lot of doctors were kind of masking that or, trying to really change it. And I think it's about enhancing, not changing. That's
exactly
the key here, because everyone is beautiful. And it's just a shame that with age or life experience and certain circumstances, people they look tired or, dull and things like that. But aesthetics is an amazing thing to do. It's amazing if you do it the right way. It can be so transformative and life-changing in a good way.
Yeah, exactly. And when we were discussing earlier, you were telling me that you have 10 years of experience in the medical field.
Yes.
So what were you doing before, and what made you have that change to aesthetic medicine in the last 5 years?
So essentially, from when I was around 16, that's when you have to choose what career path you want to go on. And I decided I want to do medicine, because at the time I felt like, even though I was 16, I felt this is a really kind of stable career. So I'll just do this, stable. I'll get a job in the NHS and that's it. That's my life. And but my real passion at the time was makeup.
Okay.
And I loved makeup. So I started my own business. I used to import makeup from China, Hong Kong, Taiwan, and I used to sell makeup. And
in the UK?
In the UK.
Okay.
Yeah.
And how old were you when you were doing that?
16. So
I love it. So you've had that
18,
entrepreneurial spirit from the start?
18 years ago.
I love that.
18 years ago, I was selling makeup that I'd get from... That's correct, right? 18 years, yeah. Because I'm 34 now.
Okay. Mashallah, 24 max.
Thank you. But so that was my passion. So I was doing that. I went in the evenings to beauty school.
Okay.
So I was doing all of that as well because I just loved it, and I don't have sisters, and I just wanted to practice makeup on someone so badly. And there's only so many bridal tutorials I can do on my mom's face, you know. She was like, leave me alone. So I thought, okay, I'll go to beauty school. So I did in the evenings. And then alongside that, I was also doing my pre-med. I was doing my pre-med courses. I was doing my chemistry, my biology, my maths, my everything, like statistics and everything. And truly, truly loved what I was studying also. And then I used to, of course, you have to excel to be able to apply for medicine. So I was getting very good grades. And I decided, okay, what's the best kind of, what was the most competitive, what was highly regarded at the time? I thought, okay, medicine, I'll do that. And again, it's a stable career, so yes, why not? So then I did that. And then I thought, okay, my passion is helping people, enhancing beauty. How can I now bring both worlds together? And that's when I thought, okay, aesthetics, skin, this is where I need to go.
Okay. So you brought it all together.
Yeah, but before that, 16 years old, I was just doing makeup and everything like that, what normal teenage girls want to do, you know? That was what I loved.
I remember when I was a teenager, I was, my mom so story time.
Yes.
My mom loves taking care of herself and loves looking good and feeling good in herself because of that. So she always used to do her makeup, and when her vision started to go, nearsightedness was going. She's like, Jouhayna, I need you to help me with my makeup. And I was like, awesome. And I have two younger sisters. So we're 3 girls, 4 women in the house. So I was always there touching up my mom's makeup. She's like, oh, I think I messed up my eyeliner here or something. Can you line my lips a bit better? I'm like, no problem. Done. Then if my grandma, when she would go to pray in the mosque, she's Shia Ismaili. Right, so she's like, oh, Jouhayna, it's almost like a fashion show in my opinion, because I'm like, what? Everyone looks amazing. So they would dress up and everything. So she's like, Jouhayna, you have to do my makeup. So I was like, all right, Nani. So I'm like doing her makeup. So I was also working with older skin, and then for me, when I was doing my own makeup, I was like, oh, I need to learn how to do this. So when YouTube came out, that was revolutionary for my makeup journey, because that's how I learned how to do wing liner when I was like 13 years old. I learned how to do that, learned about different face shapes and contouring before it was a thing, So yeah, and then I did ballet for 14 years. So at the end of every ballet year, because we did it with the Royal Academy of Dance in Sharjah though. So at the end of every year, it was like doing school. So by June, you finish school and you finish ballet school and you go up to the next grade. So as a big thank you to the parents for spending all this money on their children, we would have a big show. So I would help with makeup in the back. And they're like, Jouhayna, you should do makeup. I'm like, I'm half Arab and half African. I'm told that I have to be a doctor. I'm like, I have to get into a medical field or become a lawyer or something like that, as something of, in air quotes, substance. So when I was good at ballet and good at makeup, my mom's like, this is just for you to have a creative outlet, not for you to do as a career. And I was like, but why?
I mean, the thing is, you kind of have there's this expectations and that culture that we come from. It is what it is, right? Doctor, engineer, lawyer, that kind of thing.
Exactly.
But no, I loved makeup. And then I subsequently went on to being trained by Mario Dedivanovic.
Okay.
Kim Kardashian's makeup artist.
Oh, yes.
And then Kylie Jenner's makeup artist, 𝐟𝐸𝐫. So I was like, I really love it. But no, I, putting the makeup to one side, I went to medical school. I did medicine and surgery. So I've got
mashallah.
2 degrees. And then from that, I went on to become a medical doctor and then specialized in aesthetic medicine. But when you say about, people do judge you by the way that you look. And sometimes people expect me to maybe look a bit older. Or, and I think, how old do you want me to look? I've been a doctor now 10 years. And then but it's really about how much knowledge you have. And I don't think being older necessarily means you have more knowledge. I keep up to date with everything in the aesthetics field. I'm always going to conferences around the world and meeting experts and people. So, this is, I feel like I've been able to mix both passions really well, and it's like an art as well.
It is an art.
And,
it is.
I love it. I love being hands-on and creating masterpieces for people.
Yeah, and not only do you broaden your knowledge, but you also share that with everybody else. You were telling me you have a workshop as well that you're going to be doing, but for the professionals in your field.
Yeah.
So that's how good you are. You're good to the point in which people are coming to you to seek that knowledge, you know?
Yeah, so I train people across the world in London, in Saudi, now in Dubai in February. I'll be holding a workshop for doctors, for dermatologists and aesthetic doctors who want to really just, be better at what they do.
Yeah, exactly.
So, yeah, very excited.
And I'm also very excited for you.
Thank you.
Yeah. And welcome to my country. And I've just loved seeing you thrive here, because I saw you also won an award, and you messaged me, I think in September or August. It was like something around then. And you're like, hey, I think we could do really well on a podcast together. And I was like, okay. So I just followed you back, and I was like, I'm just going to see, because that's how I was doing my research before. I'm like, I'll just follow someone for a little while. And the podcast is still fresh. So I'm going through a list of guests that I had already. So I was like, when I have the time, I'll, for a new guest who I don't know at all, I'm going to bring you onto the show. But then also I was just following you. And what I liked about your page is that you're educating people versus putting before after of the enhancements that you do for people. So I just love the fact that you are sharing knowledge and that education versus doing the mainstream of what most of the doctors here are doing.
Thank you. I saw your podcasts. I was like, she's like, I like her vibe.
Oh.
I was like, I like her vibe, but I really would love to do something with her. And I have my own podcast as well, and I love to do this. I love to educate people, like you said. And I think that this was missing, really. Doctors are putting just before and afters, before and afters of everything on their page. And really what people need is you need to communicate. You need to educate and inform.
Exactly.
So that people can make the right decisions about what is good for them, what is not good for them. So this is why I started the podcast. I thought, okay, let's start educating people about lip fillers versus lip boosters versus collagen boosters versus Botox lips. Let's really educate and break these things down. And people love it. They learn a lot, and that's why they love to follow and watch.
Exactly. And I think that's also a reliable research to go and watch your podcast versus everything on TikTok, because I feel it's so detrimental to not just the youth, but even for adults.
Yeah.
You self-diagnose, oh, I want this to be changed about me, so I'm going to go to a clinic and say I want XYZ.
Absolutely. Versus
the doctor should be the one to analyze, and everyone's unique. What worked and looked good on one person on the internet isn't going to look good for you.
And I do a full consultation, a full facial analysis, and then create a management plan that both me and the patient are happy with. So it's not about you just coming in and saying, okay, I want lips, and I'm like, sit on the bed, let me do the lips, see ya. It's not like that.
Exactly.
It's about the whole experience and the patient experience. And I go to so many conferences and everything like that. I learn so much all the time that the patient doesn't go to these conferences, doesn't know all these different things. So it's my job to educate and inform, and that's part of the consultation process. So, it's super important to do that and have that kind of way of working. But like you said about TikTok and Instagram, there's too many unqualified people on TikTok, on Instagram, that are sharing their views and opinions about this or that when it comes to aesthetics and skincare. And as a result, so much confusion, so much harm that's coming to people. And this is why I felt like it's important people have a safe space, a trusted space that they can just go and find out the right information.
Yeah, exactly.
In England, for example, this industry, the aesthetics industry, it's not very highly regulated.
Okay. I'm surprised by that.
I'm very surprised also. So you have, medical professionals, and then you have non-medics as well that are doing injectable treatments. So there's been deaths. There's been people that have been really, really harmed by it.
That's awful.
So they are tightening the regulations there. But it's a little, when someone dies or someone comes to harm, it's a little late, but they're doing what they can now. The government are regulating it.
Exactly. And you mentioned the UK, so you have your 2 clinics there. And doctor's dose, can you tell me more about that?
So I have my own medical grade bespoke skincare brand. We make custom formulas for patients because skin is not a one size fits all. People have, your skin is not the same as my skin. So the formulas I might need, they might not suit you, you know? So we really, this is part of, what I'm just so passionate about it, that I can't just give people a skincare cream and say, off you go. I need to make sure it's going to work for you. And I want to see results. I'm incredibly results driven. So we create something for you with the best ingredients, specialist ingredients, things that are prescription that you cannot just go and get from the drugstore, and put it in a bottle, give it to you. And it's so transformative. It can change people's skin overnight. And that's what my patients have seen. They have seen overnight success with this, some of them. But yeah, so that's my brand. We've been featured in British Vogue, in GQ, in The Independent, in Woman and Home, lots of magazines and publications in England. And I am bringing it over to Dubai. We do have our bespoke stuff in Dubai because I work with a lab here that create it. So we can get all those fabulous formulations for you for hyperpigmentation, acne, anything. But then also my clinics. So what I do here, I did in England as well. I had 2 clinics in England. And actually when I decided to make the move, I decided that I need to go all in, really focus and be in one place. I don't want to be one of those doctors that's just flying in and out all the time. I really want to make a difference and make some impact here.
Oh, so you closed the clinics in the UK?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. All in.
Yeah, all in. And, I had 2,500 patients in England.
Oh, mashallah.
And I left 2,500 patients in England to start from scratch, from zero.
I salute you. That is incredible. And has it been a year since you moved? And within that time, you already got an award?
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
Alhamdulillah, mashallah.
Yes.
I'm so proud of you.
Thank you,
And
very good.
Yeah, of course. And for doctor's dose, why did you call it doctor's dose? I'm just curious.
So my skincare brand is called The Doctor's Dose. We do skincare, hair care, and supplements. And the reason why it's called The Doctor's Dose is because of all of the confusion, all of the kind of non-professional, non-qualified people on Instagram saying, do this, do that, do this. And on TikTok, there's so much confusion that comes from that. So then I saw again a white space. I thought, listen, people need something that is the doctor's dose. The doctor's recommended, the doctor's advice. And there's very few doctor formulated skincare brands. A lot of them are celebrity or, whatever they are. But there's very few doctor formulated. So I really wanted this to be the one. Why should I use your skincare brand? Well, because it's the doctor's dose. Why wouldn't you?
Exactly.
It's like, would I go to a car mechanic for my heart problem? No. So why would I go to a florist for my skincare? Because some people are just doing weird things like that. And, it's to a certain extent, if you don't have problematic skin and someone gives you good advice, okay, maybe. But if you have problematic skin and you are just listening to TikTok and Instagram, you're not going to get better. That's the fact.
I completely agree. So my story, so you already reached out to me and I was already following you. But then with your content, there's of course the rest of Instagram, TikTok, also reaching out with different forms of content. So I had a really awful experience, and actually multiple awful experiences, because I'm happy everything is being regulated. But A, most of the clinics, you break your bank. And B, the results that I received from from personal experience, and out of respect for the clinics, because I don't want to damage anyone's reputation, but years ago I went and I knew I had a really big show coming up and I'd put on so much weight, so I was like, I'll just fix my face. So that was like my thought process. I was like, oh, my skin doesn't look the way it should and everything, and my hormones were all over the place. I was having a lot of acne. So I go to a clinic, and it's an aesthetic clinic. So I met with a doctor over there. They assigned me anybody random. The WhatsApp from the beginning, I shouldn't have gone because the WhatsApp was slow and they weren't really nice. Then eventually when I got there, I had to wait really long. No problem. I'm patient. I brought a Kindle. Then I went to see the doctor and she was like, all right, we're going to do this. We're going to hydrate your face. So I don't know how to pronounce it.
𝐸𝐿
𝐸𝐿.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's a filler, correct?
It's a skin booster.
Oh, it's a skin booster.
Amino acid based, yeah.
Okay, so I specifically told her, I'm like, I don't want any filler because I didn't want any. I think, how old was I? I was maybe 24 or 25 at the time. 25, 26 actually. So I was like, I really don't want a lot. I just want my skin to glow better and look better and feel healthier. And I also have a show coming up in a month. So because of my mom being obsessed with skincare, I knew I have to be proactive. So I have to go at least a minimum a month before. So I'm going to get anything done for a significant event. So a lot of injections were put in. I don't know what she put in, but I think one of them was 𝐸𝐿.
Okay.
I didn't like how it looked on my lips because my lips got bigger. Especially my upper lip, and it's the way she communicated with me that was really awful. So they put numbing cream all over my face but didn't put any on my lips, the nurses. Then after that, she came in, she put some skin boosters in my face, I'm assuming, and then after that there was some secret duo in machine.
Okay, yes.
So I didn't expect that. Like, I am okay with needles.
Okay.
But I wasn't expecting those many needles. So they were like, okay, now we're going to do this treatment that's going to help you with the hyperpigmentation you have. And they started using the secret duo. And the first puncture was like around my forehead. And I was like, why does it feel like I'm being stabbed? And they did that on my whole face. And I was like, oh, thank God we're done. They're like, we're going to do another sweep. I'm like, no. So I started crying, but then my tears are salty, so they burn. And then they were laughing at me.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah. And then, oh, this is not even the worst part. So just before that, she's like, why didn't you numb her lips? So they're like, oh, sorry. They numbed my lips. She put the whatever she put in my lips that did make them bigger. And I still have like a little bump over here on the inside. So I know it's filler because it hasn't gone away in like 4 to 5 years. And then after she finished injecting me, she said, now you look even. I didn't ask you to make me symmetrical. I came in because I want my skin to be nicer.
Oh my goodness.
What? Now you're symmetrical? Like, you're so mean. Like, what is this?
So did you consent to any of this?
I had to sign a bunch of things, but I don't like, I made the mistake of not reading because it's so overwhelming. There's like all these words. I'm like, yeah. So the nurse will say, this is for this. I'm like, cool, sign, like on an iPad, whatever. So then after that, I was like, I'm never having another needle in my face ever again because I didn't expect that. And I have had, there was a different clinic I used to go to, and I really liked that doctor. He was so amazing. And then I just decided to go to different clinics and try things out because I lost touch with that place. And I was very young when I was going to that clinic. I was like 21, 22. So I took a little breather. And then when I gained weight and I felt like I'll fix my aesthetic by going and sorting my face out only and not thinking about my body, that was my experience. And then a couple months ago, I was like, okay, I'm starting to notice this Mounjaro, Ozempic, whatever face. So I'm like, I'm losing weight and I go to the doctor. I'm so proud. I lost 22 kilos, like, and thank you. So I go to the doctor and then he goes, you have to lose 30 more. I'm like, my face is already starting to sag. You want me to lose 30 more? I lose my personality.
Oh.
What? So then I'm starting to notice this because, again, it was ingrained in me from a young age about looking good, you know? So then I was like, oh, I'm honestly so over it. Then I invited you onto the show and I was like, for market research,
I had to beg to be on the show, by the way. I begged.
She didn't beg.
This girl was like, you know, we don't need her. You're acting like you asked me. I begged.
I only do 2 shoots a month. So I'm just like, and I even message, I'm like, I know this is going to sound really pretentious, but I'll see you in 3 months because I have guests already. I'm like,
and I was like, who does she think she is? Like, what is this? Like, is she call her daddy? Do you watch that podcast?
Yeah, I do.
Is she like Bobby or something? You know, 3 months?
Yeah, no, because it's only 2 shoots a month, you know, because I'm still working full time as air traffic controller, and you know, I take do nothing days in the middle. I'm just like, I deserve to just sit. So anyways, so then I went and I did that treatment, and then I decided, I was like, okay, now I can start having guests on that I weren't scheduled from before. So then I reached out to you and I was like, oh, I'm going to have her on the show. So I texted the clinic. I was like, tell me about her. Am I gonna go? What are the consultation like? Whatever. They're like, oh, it's a free consultation.
Okay.
I said, for the sake of the podcast, I'm gonna go get this checked. Plus, I have this like little, you can't see it with the foundation now, and because of Doctor's Dose, I came to you.
There now.
It's barely there, but I had a huge little burn, and I had a couple on my forehead as well. So thank you, foundation, for covering it up for the show. You know, and then you looked at my skin, and you were the first ever aesthetic doctor to not tell me I don't want to do anything to your lips, and I was like, do whatever you want to my face. Do it. You know, and I really appreciated that, because everyone's always after making my lips symmetrical. I like my upper lip being small.
Lips.
Thank you.
No, I love your lips. No, the golden ratio, your top lip must be smaller than your bottom lip.
Oh, I didn't know that.
The 50-50 ratio is not a good look, and it's not natural. Top lip is always slightly smaller.
Yeah.
This is the golden ratio, which is supposedly the one for beautiful faces.
Okay.
But no, I love your lips.
Oh,
Don't
thank
need
you
to
so
touch
much.
them. And by the way, she did put filler in them.
Yeah, she did.
That was filler.
Okay. So yeah, and I had that like I have this like little bump on the inside of my here.
I remember you telling me. It was filler.
So I got gaslit, and I have all the WhatsApp messages of saying I specifically said no filler. It looks like I have filler, and they're like, no. And then I was going to go work a night shift, so I looked battered red, crying, and I went in for my night shift afterwards. I got to come home and sleep for a few hours, but I was really, really traumatized. And then when you told me about the rejuvenation treatments you wanted to do to help me with my sullen face.
The Mounjaro face?
Yeah, exactly. So then you were like, Jouhayna, they're going to be needles. And I was like, oh, why? So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to trust you. I'm going to just take the plunge. I'm going to do it for the show. And I'm just going to trust you. And then you prescribed me the cream, and I've never had somebody tell me I'm making something for your face ever. And even my mom, who's always in an aesthetic clinic, she was like, what? I need to go see her. Because then I was using the cream, and then truly in less than 2 weeks it lightened. I don't know what percentage to use, because I can't tell, but
around, I would say 80%.
Yeah, it's hardly there now.
80% lightened in 2 weeks.
Yeah, and it's not just that pigmentation. My whole skin looks so much better.
You're glowing. Your skin is glowing in 2 weeks.
Yeah, it really is. Under the makeup, because I wear makeup purposely on the show, and it's the only time I mattify my face. But really, I can see such a big difference. And my husband doesn't know what's going on. So like, he knows I go to the clinics, and I'm not shy about that. But he's like, you look cute, but like more than usual. And that's his word. Like, you know, he even tells me, he's like, I get shy, don't look at me. I'm like, we've been together for 4 years. What are you talking about? So yeah, so he notices. And then I was on a staycation with my family recently, and my youngest sister, she looks exactly like me, but lighter skin. So everyone used to joke and tell my mom that her printer ink was finishing, because I was the darkest and the youngest is the lightest. So then she was looking at me, and she's like, did you do Botox? Because that's the only treatment that she knows, like, right? Yes. And I was like, no. And my mom knows everything. I was like, Ma, I put these salmon thingies in my eyes, and she did something to my cheeks. And then my sister's like, we have a 5-year difference. She's like, if I get to look like you in 5 years, I'm happy. I'm like, you're gonna have to make some serious lifestyle changes, and also you need to just slowly go to Dr. Hasia. Save up. I'm like, start a skin budget from now. Take the overtime. But yeah, and I just feel like it's an investment in yourself. And then especially with me doing the show, and I've seen a lot of other people lose weight on Mounjaro. Extremely, it's such a drastic change.
Have you seen how old they look?
Yeah, exactly.
Have you seen how old they look?
I've seen that.
Literally. Have you seen the creases in the skin here? The creases, they're huge creases. And the skin becomes crepey, becomes thin. The collagen breakdown is huge.
Exactly.
So we were able, with your face, we were able to put some collagen back in, give it some lifting, and we're just starting. This is only after one treatment. So just the lifting, the rejuvenation, and giving you that life back to your face, to your skin. Like, you don't look at all, even now after one treatment, you don't look like you have Mounjaro face.
Yeah, alhamdulillah.
And you've lost 20 something kilos.
Yeah, exactly.
You don't look like you have Mounjaro face at all. I'd never ever in a million years say that you have that.
Thank you.
And I deal with a lot
Thanks
of
to you.
face.
Thanks to you. And I could see it starting. And like, I have my best friend Sarah. She is not a fan of the beauty industry at all. Like, we are the opposite in every way, shape, and form possible. Like, I don't know how we're friends is beyond me, because we're so the opposite. So for her, she's like, you don't need any of these things. I'm like, I'm my mother's daughter.
Yeah, no one actually needs these things,
exactly,
right? Because if you have a functioning face,
exactly.
It functions. But if you want to change it, you can.
Yeah, exactly. And I was like, I can just notice that shift. And with what you've done, it's just made it more subtle. And I don't wear makeup. I don't wear makeup when I go to work. I used to when I was much younger. And I don't know, I just felt like I should. And then I stopped wearing makeup to work, because falling asleep on a night shift and having mascara, and then you just, you smear the pillows and everything. And I was like, no, I'm not going to do that if you're napping on a night shift.
Got it. I get the whole shift work.
Exactly. So
it's terrible.
Yeah. And honestly, I've been working with mostly the same people for the last 11 years. I'm like, you guys know I'm secretly cute. I'm coming to work with no makeup. Yes. I'm like, I'm done. My skin should breathe, so I look even better on my days off.
Exactly.
So that's exactly what I did. And, I wanted to also share my experience, because I feel most people are shy or don't want to admit that they get anything done. And I don't want to be that person, because I'm not going to lie and say, oh, I lost weight without the help of Mounjaro, or I've been on Mounjaro, Ozempic, Wegovy, Saxenda, all of them, because I built a tolerance to each medication. So then they kept upgrading my medication over the course of the last 2 years. Wow. So I have used those. It was a medical restriction because of work. They were like, oh, you have to be medically fit, which meant lose weight and be in a healthier BMI. So I did do it with that. But then now I made the decision to come and see you and focus on my skin. And it's something that was ingrained in me from young, to take care of myself and look after myself. And that's me doing that. And a lot of people would say, oh, but you don't need to do that. No, I don't. But we get to hang out.
Yeah.
It's fun.
And you get to look cuter.
And I get to look cuter. And it's that inner confidence that is just built up even more. So
yes.
Yeah, exactly. So
filtered in real life.
Yeah, exactly. So I'm filtered in real life with the look I'm going for, but it's just a natural enhancement because of the sudden weight loss I've had. Like most people who lose weight, nobody really judges them if they go and remove all the skin they've lost. But what about doing a little treatment on your face so you don't look as tired, older?
Yeah,
absolutely.
You know, and like you touched on, it's about how you feel.
Exactly.
It's really all about how you feel. So if that makes you feel confident, and then you're able to go out and live your full potential, and on a day-to-day basis, you're going to wake up happy and go to your work and, be there for your children, your family, and just feel good. That's a big thing.
Oh, yeah, exactly.
So if a little bit of lip filler is going to do that for you, go for it.
Yeah, or a little bit of sculpture in my cheeks.
And do it.
Exactly. So I think that's also there, because I don't want it to be like, oh, I don't do anything, I'm naturally this way. No, I'm not naturally this way. It takes a team of incredible women. So for you, you're my aesthetic doctor. I've got an intuitive eating coach who's helping me with my mental health to not binge eat, because I love to eat.
I love you.
Like,
I think if you don't love to eat, you're weird.
Yeah. And I really enjoy food. Like I have like a little happy dance and everything, and then I have another coach who's helping me with learning about the anatomy of my body and my blood work so that I could be better. And I even sent you her contact, because you're like, Jouhayna, you look good from inside. What's happening?
Yes.
You're like, this is more than the injections. So, I just have found incredible women who are so good at what they do in different fields, and I'm like, just lift me up.
Yes.
And also take my money, because I want to support you.
Oh, I love that.
So yeah,
very good.
So thank you for coming on the show to do this. And this is your live forever testimonial. Anyone is like, why should I come to you? Press pause, Jouhayna.
Yes. This is what I will send them.
Yeah, exactly. Because also I do understand the discretion of the people's privacy, but I feel like you've come here, you're starting from scratch, and you everybody's living off testimonials and everything else. And I feel like word of mouth is definitely going to continue to prop you up as it already has.
But the most important thing is word of mouth, and that's how I built my business in England. That's what I truly believe in here.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So this is just me as giving you an extra bonus thank you for all that you do. And yeah, thank you.
Thank you. No, thank you. Jo, really, you came to me traumatized.
Yeah, I did.
So you weren't just a regular patient who, we had to build that trust. I had to get you over the trauma and then build this trust with you. And the fact that you trusted me, thank you so much for putting your faith in me. Thank you.
Yeah, you explained everything really well. Like you made, because even when everything was being put into my face, I remember I was so nervous and I was like, and I like to learn things. So I was like, what does this mean? And you're just like, that's the numbing agent. And I was like, that's good. That's a good idea. Yeah, exactly. So, you just explained everything so well. So even me who was almost scared to get anything done, because that was not the intention. I walked into your clinic, I expected maybe a chemical peel at the very max. And I came to you knowing I had a gap before I shoot again. So that's what I was expecting. And you're like, all right, let's do this. And I was like, you know what? Let's do it. Let me just take the plunge and follow my gut.
Yes, I'm so glad that you did.
Me too.
Because you've just had the terrible experiences before. So and for me, it's really about sitting. And when you come to my clinic, it's like I take my time with the patient. I will do a full management plan. We're going to do it properly. And I'm going to really talk to you about what we're doing. And I like to make the entire experience a good experience.
It is.
And even the treatment itself, I will try my best to do, to make it comfortable, not painful, I want to make it good for you.
Exactly.
And as soon as you find a good skin doctor, a good aesthetic doctor, you have them for life.
Oh yeah.
And these relationships that I'm building with my patients, I know this is for life. So it must be a good experience. And especially living in Dubai, and I mentioned before to you, we're living in a concrete desert. No matter how many buildings you put here, it's a concrete desert. And when you live in a desert, your skin's going to get messed up, your hair's going to fall out, you are going to deteriorate, and you're going to age faster than anyone else living anywhere else on the planet. Like people in Finland and Norway, people like that, they don't age. We're aging very fast in the desert. So I know these relationships are for life, and I really like to do my best to make people feel happy and comfortable.
And you do that. That's your intention, and you do end up doing that. I can say that based on experience. But thank you so much for coming on the show. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for your patience, because you're like, this is a GoDaddy. What is it called? Call Her Daddy waitlist.
Call Her Daddy, yeah. Do you watch that one?
I do, yeah. I think she's hilarious.
Seriously, you are going to be bigger and better than her.
Inshallah.
I see big things for you, inshallah. This is why I was so desperate and begging you. I was like, I need to be on that podcast.
It hasn't taken off yet. I need to get in there.
I love it.
Yeah, but thank you so much for your time, and thank you everybody for tuning in. I really appreciate the time that you take to tune into the show. This morning I woke up, I saw we had like 75,000 views all time, but I'll take all the wins. So please remember to like, subscribe, and comment. And here's a sneak peek for next week. My mom is the fun parent and I'm the strict one.
Your cortisol is going to be super high.
Oh, my cortisol is very high.
People forget that women were never really built to work.
Because we get on so quick. From the minute we met, it was just...
Your university time, I have to say, are the best years of your life if you live them wisely. I think people may look at me and think, you know what, she's got lucky.
I'm learning how to love myself.
The amount of trolling I get about my voice.
So if I'm talking to somebody, I'm like, oh my God, how was your weekend? Emirates 1 negative.
Okay, have you ever been in love? Oh my God, Joe, you're going to get me into trouble.